right now on 18 Eyewitness News.
Members of Congress are pushing back against the president's call for reform at the NSA. Also, dozens of other cities fight for fiscal survival. Plus, Attorney General Eric Holder is changing how the Justice Department prosecutes nonviolent drug offenders. And I'll have the details for chances of some more thunderstorms this week. For coverage you can count on, 18 Eyewitness News starts right now.
18 Eyewitness News starts now.
Members of Congress are pushing back against the president's call for reform at the NSA. Thank you for joining us on 18 Eyewitness News. I'm Dustin Kopp. Our top story at this hour, he says the changes will make the National Security Agency surveillance programs more transparent. But critics say the changes don't go far enough and really aren't changes at all. Efren Graham has more.
It's not enough for me as president to have confidence in these programs. The American people need to have confidence in them as well.
The president wants a new civil liberties officer at the NSA and a commission to review intelligence programs like collecting telephone records with Congress. But some leaders do not believe that's enough.
We need to ask questions like, why did Mr. Snowden have access to the information that he had to? It couldn't have been part of his job. What about congressional oversight? Have we had a failure there? And clearly, Mr. Snowden's being granted asylum in Russia is a signal of incredibly bad relations between the United States.
Even Democrat Congressman Jim Clyburn, who has supported the president's stand on the NSA program in the past, said it's important to send the country and the president a message that, quote, this is something that we cannot allow you to just have a blank check on. Still, former NSA and CIA Director Michael Hayden issued a word of caution to the American people.
The president is trying to take some steps to make the American people more comfortable about what it is we're doing. That's going to be hard because, frankly, Bob, some steps to make Americans more comfortable will actually make Americans less safe.
Snowden's father also responded to the speech saying his son is not a traitor. But Lon Snowden also said that while he believes in the American justice system, he isn't sure his son could get a fair trial.
As a father, I want my son to come home if I believe that the justice system that we should be afforded as Americans is going to be applied correctly. What I would say is that my son has spoken the truth. He has sacrificed more than either the President of the United States or Peter King have ever in their political careers.
That was Efren Graham reporting. Now, while Edward Snowden's leaks have been a huge headache for the Obama administration, the president insists Snowden is not the reason for his call and changes at the NSA. The Reynolds County Sheriff's Department says the 6-year-old girl drowned Sunday in Black River. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reports that the girl became trapped underneath a log while swimming at the Johnson Shut-In State Park. She was flown to a hospital in Iron County where she was pronounced dead at around 5:30 p.m. 18 Eyewitness News will continue to follow this developing story and bring you any new information on our website, KDKZ18.com. Well, the iPhone 5S release date could be as early as September 10th. Apple is expected to unveil and launch the new device on that date. It is not confirmed that if a new low-cost model would be introduced on the same date. A rumored name for the cheaper version is the iPhone 5C, which is thought to have an abbreviation for iPhone 5 Color. New high-res photos of what could be the low-cost iPhone surfaced on the internet last week. Apple is already expected to discontinue the lower-end models such as iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S in order to make way for the cheaper Lightning-based replacement that will allow the company to standardize its current 30-pin connector. However, the end of the iPhone 5 was something that was not expected since it introduced the new wire connections in 2012. Law enforcement officials are turning to an old tactic to crack down on drug dealers, reviving rarely used laws so they can charge dealers with the deaths of overdose victims. This comes as heroin deaths have been skyrocketing. The number of people who died of overdoses linked to heroin jumped 55% from 2000 to 2010. Prosecutors say technology is making it easier to track down the dealers because overdose victims leave a trail of text messages and calls on their cell phones. More rain over the weekend prompted some flooding issues throughout the 18 Eyewitness News viewing area. After last week's rains, anything added over the weekend just caused some problems in Iron and Reynolds counties. Rainfall early Saturday morning prompted the National Weather Service to issue flash flood warnings in these two counties. Flooding was reported on Highway 49 near Glover, with several feet of water over the highway, as well as some flooding in the Annapolis area. Anytime severe weather moves through the area, we have you covered with the latest watches and warnings, as well as interactive radars and road closure maps on our website, which is KDKZ18.com. Temperatures across the board right now are definitely on the mild side. 81 in St. Genevieve and Fredericktown, as well as in Piedmont. Ironton at 80 right now, as well as in Ellington. Cape Girardeau at 82. A little bit cooler in Potosi at 78 degrees as that rainfall pushed through earlier this afternoon. We saw those temperatures drop off just a little bit. Let's take a look at that forecast for tonight. We do have a chance of isolated thunderstorms throughout the area. 80 degrees at 7 p.m., 76 by 9. By midnight down to 73. Will we continue to see thunderstorms the rest of the week? I'll give you all the details you need coming up later in your Storm Tracker weather forecast. And when we come back, dozens of other cities fight for fiscal survival. You're watching 18 Eyewitness News, coverage you can count on.
When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Fred Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
Welcome back to 18 Eyewitness News. Detroit may be the largest city in America to go bankrupt, but it's not alone. Dozens of other cities fight for fiscal survival. Crucial infrastructure upgrades are being pushed to the side. Caitlin Burke has more.
Across the country, more and more cities struggle to pay their bills. Obligations from payroll to health care to pension funds squeeze already shrinking budgets.
But there is a solution, a way to make those desperately needed infrastructure updates without using government money. It's called public-private partnerships.
Critical infrastructure projects often get sidelined. The result? Crumbling highways, outdated water systems, and electric grids that can't keep up.
Under a partnership, private sector will come and do the investment, so it's not on the books of the public sector. It's a private sector debt.
Richard Norman says these partnerships can improve the quality of a wide range of services.
We use partnerships for transportation, that's an obvious one. But for energy systems, water systems, real estate and economic development, housing, hospitals, schools, I mean, it's almost endless supply.
Poor maintenance contributes to that growing need, and new building projects rarely make it to a city's drawing board. Private investors can replace that aging infrastructure and provide state-of-the-art services. There's a big need in New York City. Engineer Mitch Simpler calls the Big Apple's electrical infrastructure insufficient.
Con Ed has the same issue that the rest of the utilities have, which is, they had never envisioned the kind of electrical growth that the city has experienced. And the good news is the city is growing. We are building more buildings, all of whom need a significant amount of power, and Con Ed is doing their very best to deliver it. But it's a finite resource, and their infrastructure has finite capabilities. Because of all that, their utility rates are extraordinary. And it's, again, because of the rates that they have to charge to cover this infrastructure upgrade, not making it more reliable, more robust, simply to be able to keep pace with the increasing demand.
Former New York Governor George Pataki says the stage is set for private investors to step in with financially effective solutions.
What I hope we do far more of in New York and in the country going forward is empower private companies with tremendous expertise, and not just the expertise, but also billions of dollars that they want to invest in infrastructure projects to work with the public sector to come up with both financially better more effective and quicker solutions to the infrastructure problem.
The need exists and the private funding is there. Now it's up to state and local leaders to get on board and take advantage of the opportunity. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
The New Beginnings Community Services Inc. in Park Hills is continuing to offer grief and loss services. Kathy Grogan tells 18 Eyewitness News that these groups have been around for a long time, more than a decade to be exact. Kathy tells us that at least 5,000 people have come through these groups. So many people have come through that the group had to expand.
When we started the group, our intention was to meet once a month, and just almost immediately the group wanted to make it once a week, so we did. Within just a few months, that group was too large. So we sprung off and started a second group. The first group was an evening group. We started a day group. That met weekly, so what was intended to be 12 times a year is over 100 times a year now.
To see a list of the groups offered by the New Beginnings Community Services Inc., visit our website, KDKZ18.com. The White House is calling for increased spending on the nation's electric power system. The cost of weather-related power outages is on the rise as storms in the U.S. grow more severe and the electric grid gets older. The White House says spending money to make the grid stronger and more flexible will save the economy billions. Power outages cost around $18 to $33 billion per year. Thunderstorms, hurricanes, blizzards, and other extreme weather caused about 58% of all outages since 2002. A clown wearing a President Barack Obama mask appeared at a Missouri State Fair rodeo this weekend, and the announcer asked enthusiastic spectators if they wanted to see, quote, Obama run down by a bull. The antics led the state's second highest ranking official, Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, to denounce the performance in a tweet Sunday. He said it was disrespectful to the president. He also tweeted, "We are better than this." State Fair officials said the show in Sedalia was inappropriate and does not reflect the opinions or standards of the fair. In a statement released on Sunday, officials said, "We strive to be a family-friendly event and regret that the Saturday's rodeo badly missed that mark." It wasn't clear if any action will be taken against the performers. Up next on 18 Eyewitness News, Attorney General Eric Holder is changing how the Justice Department prosecutes nonviolent drug offenders. Details on that story when 18 Eyewitness News returns. This is coverage you can count on.
We all need to take responsibility in our lives and start thinking about how do we want to be treated at the end of our lives. I would definitely say Serenity Hospice Care is an expert in their field. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's help a phone call away. If it were me and I was diagnosed with a terminal illness, I would choose Serenity Hospice Care.
Welcome back to 18 Eyewitness News. Attorney General Eric Holder is changing how the Justice Department prosecutes nonviolent drug offenders. Instead of facing a mandatory minimum prison sentence, they would be sent to drug treatment and community service programs. Holder said overhauling the federal prison policy will improve sentencing policies across the country. The U.S. imprisons a higher percentage of its population than other major countries, largely because of anti-drug laws passed in the 80s and 90s. Now federal prisons are operating nearly 40% above capacity. Ozark National Scenic Riverways Superintendent William Black is inviting the public to comment on a proposed current river trail design for hiking only. ONSR's Faye Walmsley tells 18 Eyewitness News that there currently isn't any long-distance hiking opportunities.
Currently, there is not a long-distance hiking opportunity from Current River State Park to Bushy Creek natural area. So we're looking at partnering with the Ozark Trail Association, the LAD Foundation, and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources to create a proposed Current River Trail. So the goal of the trail would be to provide a varied and scenic route to unique geological and natural features of the area.
To send in your comments and to see a map, visit our website, KDKZ18.com. Route C in Madison County will be closed as Missouri Department of Transportation crews replace a pipe under the roadway. This section of roadway to be closed is located between Route N and County Road 416. Weather permitting, work will take place Tuesday through Thursday of this week from 6:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. The work zone will be marked with signs. Motorists are urged to use extreme caution while traveling near the area. The University of Missouri is expecting fewer freshmen this fall compared to last year. A memo from Ann Korshigan, the university's vice provost for enrollment management, and Barbara Roop, director of admissions, estimates freshman enrollment this fall at 6,165 based on current deposits. That's a drop of nearly 480 from last year. Officials say the university has anticipated the drop in freshmen as the number of high school students in Missouri and the Midwest declines. Deposits from out-of-state students also dropped by 61 this year, but the number is still up 423 from 2 years ago. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and other authorities are searching for a man facing rape and kidnapping charges who escaped a Missouri jail late Saturday night. Authorities say Brian Atkinson escaped from the Caldwell County Detention Center at Kingston shortly before midnight Sunday. He is described as a 23-year-old male who is white with brown hair and brown eyes, 6 feet tall, weighing 180 pounds. It is not known what direction Atkinson is heading when he escaped. Police say he was only wearing boxer shorts at the time of the escape. Atkinson was being held on a number of charges, including rape and kidnapping. Anyone with information regarding Atkinson is asked to contact the Caldwell County Sheriff's Department at 816-586-2681 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 816-387-2345. When we come back, I'll have your latest storm tracker weather forecast. Will we see sunshine or more thunderstorms? Details when we come back.
As I get ready to go into surgery, I remind myself what it's about. It's about God. It's about caring. It's about trust. It's about respect. It's about back pain. It's about neck pain. It's about questions. It's about answers. It's about people, not just patients. It's about you. It's about us. It is Heartland Spine. Changing lives, saving lives. That's what we do.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. Cloudy skies out there right now and a temperature of 82 degrees, but it feels like 76 out there, giving us our current dew point at 71, 70% humidity and a west wind at about 3 miles per hour. Throughout the area, we're continuing to see these temperatures not too bad out there on the cool end of the warm side. 81 right now in St. Genevieve, Fredericktown 81 degrees, as well as in Piedmont, Ellington at 80, a little bit cooler in Potosi at 78 degrees. Let's take a look at those temperatures across the state of Missouri. They're not too bad as well. 77 in Columbia, 81 in St. Louis, 77 in Springfield, and 81 right now in Kansas City. Weather headlines show that we will continue to see these showers and thunderstorms possible on Tuesday. Sunshine for Wednesday moving in. It looks like those temperatures will be below normal, and I'll show you that in the 7-day forecast. Let's take a look at your forecast for your Tuesday. I'm trying to think Wednesday, but we have one more day to get to until Wednesday. But there are showers and thunderstorms, especially down to our south. Southern portions of Missouri could see these showers and thunderstorms. Could be heavy at times, otherwise on the cloudy side. Let's take a look at that forecast for tonight. Scattered thunderstorms possible. Low 64 to 69, light to variable winds. For tomorrow, still seeing that chance of some showers and thunderstorms throughout the area. Isolated in nature, 81 to 85. The big 7-day forecast shows more thunderstorms again for your Tuesday. However, after Tuesday, we're clearing things out. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of the week. Temperatures in the upper 70s rather on Wednesday and Thursday. Near 80 on Friday. Low 80s on Saturday. Sunday, upper 70s and low 80s on Monday. Really beautiful forecast coming up after Tuesday. Don't forget, you can get the latest weather information on our website. That's KDKZ18.com. Your child misbehaves, then he does it again and again, putting bad behavior in timeout. On today's Focus on the Family with Dr. Bill Meyer.
I'm Stacey Johnson. You know, some home improvement projects are a breeze. Others, though, can really blow that budget. Home improvement mistakes you gotta avoid. They're just ahead on Money Talks News.
Get your latest Storm Tracker weather forecast daily on the radio. Froggy 96, 95.9 FM, and Kickin' Country 105, 104.9 FM.
More than 70% of the U.S. experience back or neck pain within our lifetime. For many, it goes away within 4 to 6 weeks, but some require more than just time. If you need help treating your back or neck pain, contact Dr. Frank Hayward at Heartland Spine Institute. Dr. Hayward is the area's expert in minimally invasive and laser spine surgery. Tiny incision, big results. Changing lives, saving lives. That's what we do.
Welcome back to 18 Eyewitness News. Every child does it, and it drives parents crazy. Dr. Bill Meyer is here now with some tips on extinguishing bad behavior.
Mommy, 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 mommy.
Ah, yes. Every parent, just like Heather, has dealt with their share of the dreaded whinies.
It is very frustrating when your child is not behaving the way you want him to.
Whining, asking over and over for the same thing, these are some of the most annoying things that young children do. It's far too easy for parents to lose it and just snap at them. But that kind of attention can actually backfire and encourage the bad behavior.
I may have reacted to it once that he found he liked and thought maybe he could continue to get a response from me behaving that way.
That's the key, your response.
What'd you say? Thank you. You're welcome.
If you don't offer one, you're teaching him that whining isn't going to work. Here's what Heather tells 5-year-old Logan.
I can't listen to you when you talk to me like this, or I don't understand you when you talk to me like this. And then when he wants to speak to me in an appropriate manner, then I can respond to what he's saying.
It's really not that long. When they see that you're consistent with it, they'll be consistent as well.
Of course, they may not give up the bad behavior without a fight, but stick to your guns. Ignore anything said in an unpleasant tone, but immediately respond when the normal voice is used. And remember to watch your tone, too.
If I want to be talked to nicely, then I need to talk to him nicely. Can you get it and clean up, please?
Another thing to remember, the words you use will probably be used against you, as Logan recently reminded his mom.
He'll say frustrating to me. Mommy, you're making me frustrating.
If you've been reinforcing bad behavior by responding to it, it's not too late to switch gears. For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, visit our website, KDKZ18.com, and click on the Focus on the Family link. A lot of people love to repair or remodel their homes on their own, but there are costly mistakes that do-it-yourselfers make. Money expert Stacy Johnson shows us some DIY home repair mistakes to avoid.
Doing a home project yourself can save a ton of money, and it'll help you build sweat equity. Now, when it comes to doing it yourself, I'm a huge fan, but you got to be careful because mistakes can not only cost you time and money. If you don't know what you're doing, you can even hurt yourself. Here are some DIY mistakes you need to avoid. First mistake, not having a plan. Take your time, write down your list of materials so you don't make multiple trips to the store. For bigger jobs, writing out a plan, including a calendar, will help you stay organized. Number 2, no permit. Lots of jobs require them. Yes, they cost some money up front, but not as much as a fine and applying for one after you get the citation. Another big mistake, inaccurate measurements. Making even a tiny mistake can create a huge problem. So, measure twice, cut once. Another potential problem, ignoring safety. Okay, you might not need a motorcycle helmet, but you could need eye protection. You certainly can often use gloves. And when you're using electricity, make sure it's turned off before you start fooling around with it. Using power tools, make sure you know what you're doing before you plug these things in. Next mistake, blowing your budget. You have to set aside enough time and money to complete that job. Also, using cheap materials. Skimping on quality or using something like thinner drywall could make a big difference in the finished product. So do your research and always buy the best you can afford. And finally, changing your mind. It's bound to happen, but change your mind too late, and it's going to cost you a ton to redo that work. Bottom line, nothing wrong with a little do-it-yourself. It can save you some serious money. Just make sure you've got the right tools, the instructions, the permits if you need them, a little know-how. Want more information? I've got tons waiting for you right here at moneytalksnews.com. Just do a search for home repair. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
As Stacy said, he's got more information and links at his website. To get there, just go to our website, KDKZ18.com, and click on the Money Talks link under the Lifestyles menu. We'll be right back.
We all need to take responsibility in our lives and start thinking about how do we want to be treated at the end of our lives. I would definitely say Serenity Hospice Care is an expert in their field. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's help a phone call away. If it were me and I was diagnosed with a terminal illness, I would choose Serenity Hospice Care.
Welcome back. In today's Your Health News, if you plan to have a baby this year, you may want to start planning their first trip to the dentist. Experts now say children should have their first dental exam by the time they turn 1, before some kids can even walk. With more on those recommendations and tips for taking care of your toddler's teeth, here's Clark Powell.
With her daughter Ellie, Jane Abel has always stressed good dental hygiene, and like millions of other moms, made sure her child saw a dentist by the age of 3. But if she waits that long with her son, she may be waiting 2 years too long. Revised guidelines say kids should make their first trip to the dentist in their first year of life.
Going to the dentist is not top of mind. You think about vaccinations and well visits and getting the proper nutrition and learning all about that. So yes, this is surprising news.
But even with those first few teeth, dentists say they can tell a lot about your child's future. By the time they go to school, 1 in 4 kids already has cavities, and by the time they're teens, that number doubles.
If a child experiences tooth decay in their baby teeth, that they're more likely to have tooth decay in their permanent teeth. So it begins a process that's very difficult to stop.
Paul Casamasimo is the chief of dentistry at Nationwide Children's Hospital, home to one of the first and few dental clinics in the country that also serves babies. He says even a small cavity in the first tooth can create lasting problems, so the earlier a visit happens, the better. So Casamasimo, who is also with Ohio State University, offers these tips for taking care of a toddler's teeth. First, move a baby off the bottle as soon as possible. Brush their teeth early and often to get them used to the idea, and never give your child sweetened drinks to pacify them.
Confine intake of sugar to mealtime and not let a child have access to a bottle with sugar in it or even a sippy cup with some kind of sugared liquid in it throughout the course of a day.
Taking just a few simple steps as they get their first few teeth can make a difference that will last a lifetime. At Nationwide Children's Hospital, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Good job. Once cavities form, they can be very difficult and expensive to stop. Americans spend a staggering $295 million or more a day, every day, in dental expenses. Dental experts say many family dentists hesitate to see babies simply because they're not trained to examine them. In that case, they suggest finding a pediatric dentist for your baby. That is today's Your Health. We'll be right back.
When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
Thank you so much for joining us on 18 Eyewitness News. That does it for now. You can get the latest news, weather, and sports at our website. That's KDKZ18.com. We'll see you next time right back here on 18 Eyewitness News.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.